What's up, guys? It's Matty O'Malley.
And I'm Dan Smola.
And this is the Give It Away podcast. I guess we'll just start, right? People have been asking us to start a podcast and talk about our personal experiences with our recovery, with life.
Yeah, managing what that looks like, working in the industry, seeing what it's like being regular people too. We don't often get to let our hair down and talk to people because we're just fucking guys in recovery ourselves.
Go, go, go. Always taking care of family, always taking care of other people, right? And I thought it was a good opportunity to get on camera, just talk about ourselves, chalk it up, and give away what's been given to us, right?
Yeah,
Because
man,
that's what it's all about.
The whole point
So
of
I
that,
think
right?
it's only appropriate we just do intros. Who are you? What are you about? What brought you here? Why are we doing this? Share it with the world.
Share with the world. I'm Dan Smola, and well, the recovery portion of this, which I think we're going to talk about quite a bit, right? Because I'm in recovery, right? But that's how we met in the first place, right? I got clean. I landed on your front doorstep like the stork dropped me off. You picked me up, carried me through, and fast forward 2 years, and here we are, man.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's a pretty special thing, man. Who would have thought of all fucking people, you would be one of the angels that I've come across in my fucking life?
Look, it's pretty simple, right? Give back what's been given to you, right? I wake up every single day. I want to help people receive the gift that God gave me, and I surrender and I allow Him to let me be His instrument for the day.
For sure.
Who are you? What are you passionate about? What about your recovery do people need to know? Give us a little bit about your past. How did you land up at my doorstep?
Oh, it's real simple, right? Like you drink, you do drugs, and then you go to rehab, right? And then you live happily ever after. A little bit more complex than that, fortunately or unfortunately. I mean, I went through a lot of shit in life, man. A lot of stuff. I had a lot of traumatic things. I lost a lot of buddies when I was growing up. Then you go through relationships, family nonsense, right? Slipping, catching some traction, slipping again, falling down the hill. But I got to a point where I had to surrender, maybe a little later than it should have happened. But what was important is that it did happen. And then going through the process, man, going to detox, going to the CSS, taking all the suggestions and everything that goes along with it, going to the step down program, PHP, IOP, which is where I met you, right? And then feeling like I had a voice all of a sudden, right? And then people were encouraging me to not stop sharing, keep staying connected. I did that, started developing a network. The network turned into now I'm able to work in the industry. That keeps extending my network. I'm able to give a lot of people perspective too, right? By not trying to compare, because my story is going to be a lot different than yours and a lot different from the next guy's, right? So just showing them, man, like they're not alone, you know?
I like how you touched on perspective, right? Perspective on recovery is so important for people to understand. And I think that's something we do in particularly well with like identifying and connecting with other human beings on the same path as us. Because what my recovery looks like, right? Which I'm a 12-step guy. I had a similar process of beating my head against the wall, implementing insanity to every area of my life. Lots of trauma, lots of childhood trauma, lots of baggage coming with me into recovery. I think it's one of the biggest assets a recovering addict can have to understand that, like, look, what I do for Matty doesn't have to be what Dan does for Dan. And what Dan does for Dan doesn't have to be what the next person does, right? 5 + 5 = 10. And I think that leads into the next thing that, like, I'm going to bring up. The other day, we were on a phone call, right? And we were just kind of chalking it up. We were talking. And there was another person that recovery doesn't necessarily look like ours, right? But your recovery is so strong that you have a ton of empathy, right? And you said to me, I can't stand the feeling of somebody else feeling alone and that nobody's there for them. That's so important. And then that was when I was like, yo, Dan's my guy, right? Like that's just amazing. Can you touch on that a little bit for me?
Yeah. The thing is too, right? Like empathy is wonderful, right? But in working a program too, and I'm sure that you can relate to this, you have to be able to detach the emotions. Like I can't try to carry someone else's weight with me, man, because that's toxic for me. So there has to be a little bit of a buffer area, right? But I can see people's actions, I can hear in their shares and the things that they say, right? Where I'm able to, again, be relatable. So just walk them through, and they might. I particularly throw myself under the bus. It's the truth because they'll say something, and it'll spark something in my head where I can, rather than um, talk at them where they might take it offensively, right? Where I could shatter them further. I can say, I hear you, man. My path's a little bit different, but this is the fuckery that I've done. So I throw myself out there. I'm vulnerable. I'm honest. It looks gross. And maybe sometimes it's worse than what they did. You know, the thing that they're sitting in the prison of their own mind. They're thinking, oh my God, nobody could completely understand. And then all of a sudden they're like, this guy's a fucking lunatic or this guy's a grindball. You know what I'm saying? But that's important too, because it's true. And as long as I'm being authentic, right, then all of a sudden it's like you grab that and you open that door a little bit further open for them to see, you know, because that door slammed shut.
Right.
When you come fresh out of it, dude, your view is like this. You have the blinders on. You think the world hates you. You think fucking God gave up on you.
Right.
You think
Yeah.
your family's packing in on you because how could you possibly know what you don't know? And then once people are able to show you this, right, and you start taking the blinders away, you're like, oh my God, I have a little bit of hope, right? So if you can instill hope in somebody and then do the little shuffle steps and keep bigging them up along the way, keep them looped in, because I don't care who it is.
One liner, hope, hold on, pain ends, continue.
No, but that's the truth, right? Because that's what a lot of people, you know, I got sober in I've had a lot of people, even when I was in treatment, right? One of the BHTs brought me a big book, and he would go through that stuff with me. Like he didn't have to do any of that shit, right? But he was practicing his program. So it's little things like that to show someone, yeah, you know, just because I didn't know, I never read any literature like that. Yeah, I've read plenty, but nothing that I'm looking at it and it's like, oh, they're talking about me on the first 164 pages. Do you know what I'm saying? So
sometimes I feel like, thank you for like explaining the importance behind showing you're flawed, right?
yeah,
Sometimes I feel like we as or the community, right? I have had thorough mentorship. I always believe it's an asset to show my flaws, right? I always believe that if I could show people my imperfections and then show there's a group of people that love me, whether I'm doing everything right or everything wrong, right? Sometimes, man, I just don't get it because this recovery community, people hide behind like spiritual platforms, right? And they'll run around and they'll join a 12-step fellowship and they'll kind of bash people or segregate and create these cults and these sub cults and these cliques and stuff like that. And it's almost belittling to somebody coming into recovery because they're expecting them to be perfect, right? Failing to understand that, you know, some of the spiritual principles that go along with this, right? With the perfect program working motherfuckers, you know those people, is unconditional love, tolerance, acceptance. What are we doing as a predecessor or a seasoned member if we're expecting people that just burn their whole life down for a decade to come in and start firing off at a perfect rate all the time?
and also too, right, we're so used to having things instant, right, because of compulsion. We want it. I need this. I'm convinced that I need everything, right? I don't need shit. I want those things. So when you're dealing with those compulsions and the behaviors that go along with it, when you're able to talk, because now, oh, I haven't drank in a month, so I need my family to be okay with everything I did for those 10 years. they need to understand too that it's a slow process and it is a lifestyle, right? You're changing. What's the phrase? The only thing you got to change is everything,
Right.
right?
One thing you got to change is
the one
everything.
thing you got to change is everything. But when I first heard that, I was like, that must mean if I'm facing this way, I've fucked so many things up that I got to go that way, 180 degrees. I didn't. All I had to do was turn my head, a little perspective shift, right? But I couldn't see that. How the fuck? I couldn't see anything. My fucking wife hates me. My kid and wife left. My family's gonna judge me. This is the weakest thing ever, right? Little did I know that going through that process and actually being honest with myself, who I was, not honest with you, who I am and what I've done, being honest with myself, I was able to begin to forgive myself, begin to start healing, right? I'm not healed. I'm not fixed. That shit doesn't happen. I love that saying my wife does with the grief groups. You never get over your grief, but what you do is you learn how to walk alongside it. And when I heard her say that, boom, because it was the same with my addiction. That's not going anywhere because it's not just the substances that people always get caught up on, right? People think, oh, the drink and drug is gone. So maybe I should be fixed, or your family member doesn't drink or drug anymore, so they should be fixed. It's all fucking behavior.
The drink or the drug, in my personal experience, is just like you just started your process, right? It's the patterns
Yeah.
and the behaviors, right? It's the patterns and the behaviors. It's the lack of connection. It's everything other than the drink of the drug. It's mental. It says it in my literature, right? Drugs are merely just a symptom.
That's
Our
it.
literature,
That's a
right?
symptom. They're the solution, man. That's the thing. It's not the problem. I love that saying, dude. If I am not the problem, then there is no solution. But I also, when I first heard that, I'm like, ow, that fucking hurts because my first thought, Dan's bad. I'm a bad boy, right? You can't, you don't deserve shit because you're bad. No, the reality is, if I'm the problem, if I'm not the problem, then there is no solution means knowing that I am the problem means I can also be the solution, right?
Everything starts in, I tell people this all the time when I'm in group. um you've probably heard it from me before. Everything starts and ends with me. I either put myself in a position, or I knew that there could be some problematic results from being at this person, with this person, or at this place, or using this thing, right? You learn that in recovery, right? Everything in your life comes down to me, right? And the only thing I can do, or I believe anybody else can do, is just try to walk that alignment. And if you do make a mistake,
It's
it's okay to
okay.
say sorry,
Yeah.
right?
It's okay to say sorry. It's also okay to say, I need help, right? I looked at that. That was the weakest shit ever, right? Because if I say that, then, oh my God, people are going to see past this fucking imposter syndrome, this facade that I've been in.
Yes.
I pad my
Yes.
life out. People are they're going to actually see me, the person that I've been trying to hide. And then in hiding it for so long, I didn't even know who the fuck I was anymore. So then trying to learn that, right? In my 40s, bro, that's a weird place to be. But I have, like, so I see certain things a different way now. And I've had difficult conversations with clients or people that I know that are interested in trying to stop the fucking madness, right? Because I tell them I can't save you, right? But what I can do is I can show you some tools, right? We can learn how to work these tools into your daily program. You can devise a template when you get out of treatment, right? And you can try to work these steps throughout the day with the intention of showing you that you might be able to save yourself. Because going back to it, it has nothing to fucking do with me, has nothing to do with the groups, has nothing to do with anything. It's the work that you put in.
I can't. You mentioned imposter
Yeah.
syndrome. I can't tell you how long that kept me sick and suffering. Well, like, let me break it down for you. I'll
Yeah,
tell you how long.
aren't you a rap artist in recovery?
I had a short rap career. Yeah. The hottest white boy in the hood. It
Yeah.
was lit, right?
Yeah.
No, horrible rapper, right? I would create people for people my whole entire life.
Yeah.
Because before I found recovery, my self-esteem and my love for myself was non-existent.
Yeah, it was absolute dog shit.
So what you thought of me was me, right? I needed your approval. I needed your validation. I needed you to define who I was as a human being.
Right.
So like growing up, and that all comes from like I talked about, it's all underlining stuff underneath the drink of the drug that I used to medicate myself. It all comes from abandonment issues, trust issues, the God issues, everything that you just touched on. And I tell people all the time, look, walk with humility if you want substantial results from recovery. It wasn't until I was willing after my 42nd time in treatment, right? It took me 42 times for it to click once, right? And it wasn't until I was willing, and I had an old timer tell me, Matty, stop doing this. The antidote to your recovery, to your disease, rather, the antidote to your disease is honesty. And the disease dies in the light of exposure, which means if I walk into a room, which this was the first time, right? And I'll never forget this. You know the euphoria you get after you've been waiting for the guy for hours, that breath of fresh air, after you meet the plug, that fucking thank God. Well,
Because that's what we're chasing.
That's what we're chasing.
The vacation from me now.
Right.
Yeah.
I got that same breath of fresh air and that same euphoria from sharing openly and honestly from the heart with another recovering addict. When I walked in a room and I said, yo, my name's Matty, I'm fucking terrified of life on life's terms. I want my mother more than anything in the fucking world. I'm not all of these alter egos I've given you guys. I'm actually the opposite. I want you to wrap your arms around me. Tell me I'm okay. Tell me I'm fucking safe. Tell me I have a purpose. Tell me that I'm loved. Tell me that I'm endured, right? It wasn't until I was able to say that I was able to put 2 feet in the ground and take off in my recovery. Take off the fucking mask. I tell people all the time.
You know, and it's funny, right? Like, I always wanted to show up as who I thought you wanted me to show up as.
Right.
Because I lost the real me, like, or who I feel like I am today, right? Because I used to always say, you know, I'm a nice guy. Well, I'm a nice guy, but I'm an imposter. I'm a fucking perpetual fucking victim, right? I'm a narcissist to the fucking worst extent. I'm the fucking master manipulator of all things, people pleaser, all of that shit, dude. I'm throwing all of that at you so you can't just see that I'm sad and I don't like who I am. Like, I don't know why I don't feel uncomfortable, like, or excuse me, comfortable.
It's a spiritual modality.
That's it, man.
It's a void that needs to get filled. Now, I found, correct me if I'm wrong, right? Or I might not be wrong. You might just have a different viewpoint on it. The same thing we did when we were using, right? With chasing instant gratification, outside solutions to inside problems, relief, seeking fucking missiles, right? Also early recovery, right? Because I learned that I could use without using. I would use women. I would use ego. I would use pride, food, this, that, and the third. I'm never not going to be a fucking drug addict. I'm never not going to have that component. I'm always going to be addicted, right? What am I addicted to is the question. I always tell people, if you could take an increment of that hustle and that faith, I could wake up in the morning and not have 2 fucking pennies to rub against each other. And Jesus Christ himself could come down, look me in the eyes and say, Matty, you're not going to get high today. And I would tell him with complete other faith, like no questions asked, you're wrong. And I would go through these massive scheming, plotting, planning, lying, manipulating plans in order to get that next one. And I would, right? I always tell people, if you could take an increment of that same hustle and that same belief that you had in the next one and put it into your recovery, or manifest your disease into proactivity, right? Into health and wealth and everything else, like that's the key, right? Now I'm just addicted to my family, being of service to them, being of service to other people. I'm addicted to it. I can't live without it. I can't, right? Now I'm addicted to thank you to you. I've been taking care of myself physically, right? I've been going to the gym. I'm addicted to that. And my addictions manifest. But I know because I have recovery what addictions are harmful to me and what ones I can't pick up.
You know, it's funny because people, I think it's just, I mean, I was uninformed too. So I think people that haven't been through it, they just don't know, right? And they want to speak on something. So they say, you can't replace one addiction for another, right?
Yes, the fuck you can.
But here's the thing. So I had 7 years of clean time before,
Right.
Substance free. I was still an emotional fucking vampire, a womanizer, fucking all the other,
Right.
any
Yep.
character defect you could fucking imagine, right? I had those, they were on the forefront. I couldn't see them because I was like, I don't drink. And things were going pretty good because I was distracting myself with working out, right? Until I got hurt. And then this part started creeping back up, right? Because I never looked at it like I'm an alcoholic or I'm a drug addict or anything like that. But the reality is I'm always untreated when I wake up. And I didn't know that. So I'd fight that and I would think like, why do I have fucking anxiety so bad? Why do I need to be on depression medication? Well, I'm not being honest with myself. I don't even know who I am. All I'm doing is just distracting myself. I'm not dealing with any of the backlog shit. So now when people say you can't replace an addiction with another addiction, right? Do I think that you should stop drinking and drugging and just go to the gym?
No.
The mind, body, spirit, and emotional connection.
Correct.
Finding what works for you in your day to make that line up, right? The alignment. So when you're doing things intentionally, right? You're intentionally doing things. Service helped me greatly on all different levels because doing that, not just service in the STEP programs, I was, okay, well, what else can I be of service in? And then it was with church. And then it just turns into your entire life. So I can be of service when I'm a present dad. I can be of service when I'm being a great husband. I can be of service. And everyone says, aren't you tired? Yeah, I'm fucking exhausted. But I was going to bed at fucking 4 o'clock and waking up at 5 to go to fucking work.
Right.
Before when I was running. So I'm not that tired. And this opens up because people don't understand how could you possibly be doing these two careers? First, it's not up to you to fucking understand because me thinking about what people thought prior, that was capping myself. I was taking people's their own self-esteem. I was allowing that to regulate where my ceiling was.
Right.
Now I don't look at that anymore because I can actually trust my behaviors because I work a program. It was never like that before. So yes, I get up at 4 o'clock. Yes, I do all these things. Yes, I'm double dipping. I'm doing construction work. I'm on the computer. I'm making phone calls. I'm getting people in treatment. And I've never been more present for my wife and kid in my life. And I'm in bed by 9:30 every night.
It's funny that you brought that up. I literally did a group today. And if you walked into the group room, which you do all the time, you would have saw on the board in big fucking letters, time,
Yeah.
right? I've learned that the most deadly thing I could give my disease is time.
Yeah.
To manifest, time to obsess, time to be stagnant, right? If I give my disease time, I'm doomed, right? And I'm a lot like you. And I told the group, right? Like you need to break down your life in increments and time manage so you don't have hours at a time to sit there and let your disease take off. Because I know personally, right? Because, dude, look, do I have a good understanding of recovery? Yes. Am I perfect in it? No. If I give my disease time, will I make some mistakes? Yes, right? And I explained like you need to lay down your life and be busy enough that you don't give your disease the time of the day to flourish again. And that's why it's so important to be productive. So important. That's why there's a body, mind, and spirit, because body and mind leaves you with too much time, right? Body, mind, and spirit takes up a whole week of your time if you utilize it the right way. That's the key. And consistency.
And what you were saying too, right? Like you with your idle time, right? I love the saying that the devil doesn't have to chase you if he can convince you to stop walking.
Yeah.
I love that saying.
100%.
I love that saying because now, right, as an addict or alcoholic in recovery, it's not about the drugs. It's about, well, what can I do? Well, maybe I might embellish on a story. right? And that gets me a little bit. Or maybe my wife will call and I just won't pick up because I'm X, Y, and Z. So it always comes out in a behavior. Like you really have to be understanding, like this is a whole lifestyle and you have to accept the fact. And I know that it's only one day at a time and all these incremental things, but you have to be committed to it.
If you
can't be half in, right? Half measures avail you nothing.
I was literally just, you just read my mind. You can't kind of recover.
No.
You can't, I never kind of got high, right? I never, you know what I mean? I never used a half a bag of fucking dope, dude, right? Or drank, I never used a half a bag of dope. I never went on half of a run and I never drank half of a bottle. So I can't kind of recovery, right? I need to be 2 feet in, right? And I tell people this, right? And I always do a group, right? And they always say I'm corny for my one-liners, right? My one-liners keep me on the straight and narrow. If I have kind of recovery, guess what? I have a definite readmit or I have a definite trip back to fucking detox, right? If I kind of recover, I need to be 2 feet in and head up.
And I hate now that when I'm talking to people and I'm like, hey man, you haven't been reaching out, or hey, I haven't seen you doing this, and hey, what do you, and you can see the mental relapse has already taken place.
My
So
God.
trying to backpedal people off of that, and a lot of times it can't be nice, man.
No, and a lot of times I gotta fucking sit there. I literally see a relapse weeks, months before it fucking happens, and I gotta sit there and not say anything because if I interrupt somebody's process, I'm not God.
Yeah.
That's not for me. That's not for me to interrupt, right? And when you deny an addict their pain, you deny them the opportunity for growth, right? So I can't deny them their process. What I can do is when they're ready to come back, I can make sure they know there's a loving, caring, compassionate
Absolutely. People don't like to hear, man. Apparently it hasn't hurt bad enough yet because they already go back to, because they've already hit their rock bottom at that point.
Yeah.
Right. Except for there's fucking layers to that basement, bro. So you think it's bad now? Go out again. And I hope you make it back.
And excuses.
That's it, man.
I can't, we were talking the other day. How many times am I the bad guy? How many times am I the bad guy? Because I don't know. When I would relapse, it was everybody else's fucking fault.
Absolutely.
No, I learned I relapsed because it was what I wanted to do. Once you get recovery, right? You admitted that your life.
You can't unsee it, bro.
Correct.
Yeah. So it's like you've seen it on this side. So when people, especially in the industry, when they're like, oh, they only want my insurance money, it's like, dude, we're trying to make it so you don't die.
Correct.
And convince you that you should try and make yourself not die too.
Right. Because that's all I want. I want people to stay alive, be present.
I tell everybody, and going back to even when we first started this conversation, right? Having people feeling alone, right? I try to make it a point to tell, I want everyone to win. But with what you said too, I ain't fucking God, man. I can't save anybody. And then you get to a point I talk to a lot of people that have been in the program, a lot of people that are currently in the program, and then even in other facilities, man, and they start to look up to you, right? Because you're giving them hope. So they come and they can interact with you and everything while they're there. And as soon as they leave, they forgot all the tools. And if they don't stay connected, then all of a sudden now they don't want to hear from me. I was your best friend 3 months ago, but now you ain't got time for me. And it's because you know that I know what the fuck you're up to. And it hurts for you to look in the mirror. You know, that's a sad set of circumstances.
It's yeah, man. People are terrified to walk alone and go left when crowds go right. And I see it all the time, and like especially people in AA and NA, and you got to kind of fit their mold in order to be accepted, rather than fit your own mold and have a small group of people that are going to always accept you.
Yeah. Well,
it's fugazi. It's just the way it is.
I went the way I went, and that way works for me, man. And I like what we really push for people too, is like, whatever the fuck works, bro. You don't have to. This is just a way. How I do it is a way.
Yeah.
Right? How you do it is a way. Right?
Look, one of my biggest mentors taught me this is 5 plus 5 equals 10. So does 9 plus 1, right? There's other equations to get there too. I don't give a fuck how we get to 10. I just want to get to 10. And most importantly, let's get to 10 alive, right? So if that means you got to be on methadone, if that means you got to be on Suboxone, if that means you need to take a harm reduction approach, if that means that you need extra support, if that means I need to stay up until 1 o'clock in the morning on the phone with you, I don't give a fuck what that looks like for you. The goal is always to get you to 10 alive.
Yeah, and a lot of people, when you say, when you leave here, like, what's kind of like the exit strategy? You should have some sort of a game plan. And I always ask people, man, like, do you go to any meetings, right? And a lot of people, oh, I want to try Dharma. I'm like, that's good, man, but how many fucking Dharma meetings are around here, bro?
Right.
What are you gonna go to one virtually a fucking week, dude? How is that gonna work?
Yeah.
That's like, oh no, bro, I meditate. Yeah, for what? For 10 minutes a fucking month?
Not
That
enough
ain't
time.
gonna fix it, man.
Yeah.
If you're gonna give 12 years of your life to fucking burying your career, losing your fucking house, losing your wife, your kids won't fucking talk to you. You think that fucking 1 hour a week, you're gonna be like, I'm good, dude. I'm good. That's the selling point. It's like, no, man. There's a reason. You stay inside of a building for 7 to 10 days. You stay inside of a building for 30 days. You come down, you stay inside of a building for 8 hours a day. There's a reason for that shit, man. Not so when you leave these, you're like, oh yeah, 1 hour a week, I'm good. No, you have to drill that shit into your head, man, or it just does not.
It has to be a lifestyle.
It really does.
Me, years and years and years down the road, I still do the same thing, man. I still go to meetings. I still see a therapist. I still try to improve
You
myself.
should see a fucking therapist.
Huh?
I said you should see
I
a fucking
fucking
therapist.
should see a
Yeah, you should go more than one time a week, man.
I probably need 6 or 7.
You should have one that lives here. You should have a therapist / nanny.
I was thinking that. However, I'm pretty sure Ariana would knock her teeth loose. So,
Or give her a hug, man, because maybe the therapist would keep you quiet for 5 minutes.
that's a whole different component that recovery's given me, man, is because Ariana came up. It's seasons, right? It's seasons, right? Like I was really good at being a mentor in recovery, really good at raising awareness and prevention, and then really good in the business and making moral and ethical decisions and creating a strong program. And, like I always needed to do work, but I wasn't good at being a partner. And I had to learn how to sacrifice and give more and how to accept the fact that I'm not right in every situation, how to be a better man. And that's like some of the stuff like I'm okay talking about. Like I see a therapist, not because things are bad, but because I want to be a better person
Yeah.
for people that I love more than anything in the world. I had to learn how to be a good father. I'm still trying to figure out the balance between like, it's crazy the disease, because even the healthy addictions that I've manifested have an impact on people in a negative manner, right? Like I'll find myself being of service and neglecting the people I love the most. And I'll rationalize and justify that it's okay because I'm doing something good. And it's not, right? And I had to learn all of these things. It talks about it in my literature, our literature. It's cut and baffled and insidious. It's crazy how I'm still entering uncharted territories and still trying to evolve as a recovering addict, right? It's wild stuff.
But growth, right? And I think that's important too, right? First, like when you first get clean, how you can show up for your family, right? But then like the honeymoon phase is over, right? You get like 6 months down, now things are really real. And if you're in 12-step programs, like try to tell your loved one that wait till I get to step 9 and I'll make amends to you, bro. That goes over like a fucking fart in church, man. It's crazy, right? But that's the reality. So it's not perfect. But the thing is, the fucking water starts to settle, right? And I noticed that the calmer I am, the calmer my family is. And
Yes.
then I always thought that my wife was the boss, right? And I used to resent that because, oh, I come home. Dude, I would come home not even realizing that I was looking for the reason why I was going to use that night, right? And something could be on the counter. I'd be like, yo, what the fuck is this?
Right.
Rather than go give my wife a hug,
Yeah.
which is like, that's just, it's a reflex now, right? Because that's how I should be. But just growing as a husband and growing as a father, and then actually having someone that's willing to and understands where there's a lot of honesty that has to happen, but understands where you're at, and then you guys growing together. It's really special, man. It really is.
It's wild. It's still something I'm trying to like actively work on day in and day out. And it's crazy how like, yeah, dude, it always goes back to the basics. You talked about like, dude, if my family is in turmoil, right? Um, it's because I'm not meeting something in the middle, right? And it's because maybe I chose to, right? Um, do something of service where I should be here, right? You gotta the 12 steps in the service is not everything. You need to live, which means that you need to be present and you need to love the people that sleep under the same
And
roof.
that's the
It's wild
reason why
stuff.
we get sober, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, you can do all that, but they're not working a program. So you have to figure out how you're doing all this, balancing it out. And I had no idea what the fuck that was
I
going
was
to look
raised in a
like.
huge service community of like NA. And they're like, yo, Maddie, where you been at? Right? Or like, they'll be questioning my fucking program. Right? And I have to tell them, dude, I got clean so I could evolve to be a partner, a father, and live a
Yeah.
life, not to be at a Narcotics Anonymous speaker jam at 8:30 at night, dude. Right? Like that should be the goal and the mission.
Yeah. I mean, but consistency too. And I had no consistency. I had no idea what that looked like. When I got out of treatment, people are spitting statistics at me. You got to do this. You got to do that. Find a sponsor. Go to a meeting the first day. I'm like, okay, because I'm fucking terrified now.
Yeah.
Because I walk out of this place, man. I have no fucking idea what I'm doing.
Right.
I'm an
right.
all-star in CSS, right? Oh fuck, dude, I got this. I'm running meetings in there and shit. Like, hey, I got the hang of this. As soon as I stepped out the door, I'm like, I have no idea what I'm going to do. And I went to a meeting that first night, and I just heard 6 guys drinking and drug-a-logs. And when I left there, my first thought is, I'm going to blow my fucking brains out. Because if this is how this is going to be, I have no chance out here.
Right. It's just where they're at, though. I hear that all the time. People, again, dude, look, like spiritual platforms looking down, right? And I'm not saying you do, right? But like sometimes there's poor mentorship in these walls and rooms and community. There is, right? So sometimes people that's all they have is their drug-a-log, right? Because they haven't been taught how to share. They haven't been taught how to turn their mess into a message yet.
Well, and there's a lot of people that are really nice at throwing you all the catchphrases and throwing the literature at you and say, oh, page 417, or oh, page 58, or oh, this and that. And then you look at how they operate.
Yeah.
Right. So that's where I realized that I used to do this prior, and I think it made me have a good business sense. Maybe it came from being fucking stuck in fight or flight my whole life. But it's not so much what you're saying to me.
Right.
I'm paying attention to what the fuck is going on around you in the context of what you're saying. But your words mean shit, bro.
Right. It's your actions.
Your actions are what define you, right? Talk is cheap. How you do, that's your receipts, man.
It's only by understanding an application that it works. It says that for a reason. And I have no problem. Look, that's a mess that I have personally turned to a message. I was the fucking king at creating a Narcotics Anonymous DJ Khaled remix message, right? Yeah, dude, I would go to different home groups and collect all of these bits and pieces. I'm like, I'm gonna add that into my share.
Yeah.
Because
I like that one-liner. I'm gonna throw my fucking swag on that, and I'm gonna blow people's minds.
the
man.
disease, man,
Yeah.
it's sick. This is what it does, right? In recovery, years in recovery, this was me because my disease manifested, but my past didn't. I didn't lift my past, right? I didn't lift who I was as a person, right? I was the type of drug addict that would I was so hungry for approval that I would do step work with the sponsor, lie on the spot on the step work because I wanted my sponsor to think I was somebody that I wasn't, and then blame my sponsor for not getting the results that I was looking for through the fellowship. But then my disease manifested, and I was sharing for effect. I was sharing for that validation.
The
right?
wow, the wow factor.
The wow effect, right? Um, I'm no longer there, man, and all kinds of other character defects. We don't have to go down that. I'm sure you could.
And that's not to say I don't run a perfect program either. But what I do know is I really try. And it always goes back to fucking honesty, vulnerability. And I love how some of my boys out east, they say, look at everybody, including yourself, like they got a fucking bandage wrapped around their head, and you'll approach that person with compassion.
Correct.
So I realize, like, knowing that I'm always sick too.
It's a hospital.
Yeah, that's it.
Where it's that's why I never understood it.
And that's people that work a program, people that don't work a program. You take a peek behind anyone's curtain, and there's some fucked up shit going on out there. Yeah. It's just life.
Yeah.
Right. But people like to, he used to be a drug addict, or he used to be. So now we're judging, right? Because what? Because people aren't sitting there saying, we know you drink a box of wine every night to make yourself pass out. You just haven't gotten an OUI yet, right? You haven't gotten pressed the way that I have. So people judge because, dude, that's scary too. Because a lot of times when people are judging, they see something in you that they see in themselves, and they're scared of that shit, bro.
I think that's the only reason why people judge.
It's fucked up.
Yeah,
but I used to do it too, man. I was the most 100%. Judgmental fuck, dude. I walk into a fucking facility and I'm like, I don't need to be here with these fucking junkies. The reality was, I was probably the worst one in the building.
I see
I just had some money. I had a car. I had a house. That was what defined me. My stuff. Oh, I got more stuff than you. That means I'm doing better. Never thinking like, how the fuck are you on a scale from Dan at 0 to Dan at a 10? Because I couldn't even fucking look at Dan. I just knew that I didn't show up sweaty, smelling like you did today. I took a shower and sprayed cologne. I'm probably twice as fucked up on you, or fucked up as you are, but
it's wild stuff, dude. Dude, I would not be alive today. Never mind would I have the same clean date if it wasn't for the select small group of people that didn't judge me and said, hey, let's try to use that character defect less. They didn't even tell me to stop. They said, how about we do that less?
A little bit,
right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be alive and I wouldn't have a family. That's why I never understood it. It's a hospital. We're all sick. We're all fighting for our lives. That's why I can't stand motherfuckers that are like,
I don't like division. That's why I'll never fucking talk politics with anybody. I'll never talk any of the gender stuff or any race or sexuality. Dude, I'm fucked up. I know that. I'm just going to assume you're fucked up too. Let's meet somewhere in the middle and just
let's connect.
Real, bro. That's it.
Yeah.
Just be honest. That's all I want from people. And I know honesty is tough. It really is, man, because there's a lot of shit that a lot of people don't want to go through. But the only way to fucking actually feel any type of way or like constructive in order for you to grow. Oh, shit. We went there. Talking about DJ Khaled, man.
The DJ Khaled came up. I think that this message is, strong for everybody to hear. We all live in a hospital, right? You can't bash or discontinue people for being more sick when you're sick in the hospital. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. And I can't judge people either based on my parents had me over here. Yours had you over there. I got some more stuff. I'm better than you. That's fucked up, and you see it everywhere.
It's love. It's compassion. It's connectivity.
Because this stuff isn't just...
And it's honesty.
These kind of things are happening everywhere now too. It's not just a inner city thing. It's in the suburbs. It's in the ritzy community. Dude, everyone's losing someone. This kind of stuff, man, it's touching every single person now.
Mm-hmm.
No one can ignore it, right? And that's why I like, so when we talk so much about breaking the stigma, right? Bringing awareness to it. I like how you always say, drag that shit out in the light, man, because that's where it dies. I love that shit. Because making it a regular conversation, like with my wife, who's the grief coach, right? Talking about death freaks people the fuck out, but it is a certainty, right? And approaching things from a death perspective, like they do in the Buddhist philosophy, truly makes you live in the present because you know that's coming.
Right.
Cool. We made good with that. Now what can we do while we're here? I love that perspective, man.
It's all about love, man. It's all. I mean, we covered so much today.
Yeah.
Connectivity, love. We're all on an equal playing field. No big I's and little U's.
A lot of times people are standing on a soapbox looking down, man. No, we're all at eye level.
Well, I love you.
Love
you know
too,
that.
brother, man, for sure.
This is, again, the first of many. I know
First
we
of many,
put tons
man.
of hard work into
That's
this.
the thing. This give it away tagline, man, is going to mean a lot more as this thing progresses.
It's give it away. So I think it's only fitting, probably at the end. Why don't you look at the cameras and just give away one bit of advice today? Then we'll wrap it up. I'll give one, and we'll move on with the night. So if there was one thing you could give away at the end of the day, at the end of the night, after fighting for 24 hours clean, what is it that you're going to give today?
Man, just give it away. Just be kind to yourself, man. Give yourself grace, right? Because life is not easy and it doesn't give a fuck about anyone's feelings. Give yourself time, man. That's it.
I love it. For me, we're all on an equal playing field. Love and compassion and empathy. Wake up tomorrow. Try to pick more people up than you put down, and see the difference it makes in your life. Love and respect. Give it away podcast. That's a wrap, baby.
Go Patriots.
Let's go, Pats. Hell yeah.